Posted by you/upstairs writing 5155. Okay, so my husband has been dealing with some major issues. We have not yet figured out what they are, but he has been experiencing certain delusions. For example, it all started 6 months ago when he became convinced that I had cheated on him because he found a document on my laptop saying so. When I arrived home and he tried to show it to me, he obviously couldn't find it. He is going to therapy, but as of right now, we are technically separated and living in different rooms. It's just that this keeps happening. A certain insecurity eats away at my husband, and he becomes convinced that it's the truth. He either dreams proof or convinces himself that anything is proof. I don't know what he discusses with a therapist, but I honestly don't see it getting better. Last week, he was mad at our daughter, 15F, because she didn't want him to drive her to prom and take pictures with her. When I asked her about it, she said that wasn't true. She had talked to her dad about what she'd like to do when she graduates in 2 years. Her father just got really mad at the perceived slight. The problem is that he keeps talking to people about the issues. I was already wondering why so many mutual friends stopped responding to me, but apparently, they all think I'm an awful person and a terrible spouse. I just want to tell people what's going on so they're aware that my husband is basically lying to them and so they can inform me of any delusions he might be having that I don't know about. At the very beginning of his therapy, he begged me not to tell anyone because he feared people would think he's crazy. My sister said it would also be a cruel thing to do and would likely feed into his delusions. But I just feel like I'm done. Edit. Obviously, I am not in the medical field, but I can't describe them as anything else, mainly because we have not done any of the things he has convinced himself of. For example, he was convinced our oldest daughter, 19F, was pregnant because she said no to sushi. She just wasn't in the mood for raw fish. But my husband became obsessed with the idea that our daughter was pregnant. He would go on full rants, saying, "How dare she? We gave her everything," etc. We already did a brain scan/MRI, and nothing was found. No, we are not in the US. Update 5 months later. I thank everyone for their supportive words, especially those who have been through something similar. Thank you so much for sharing with me. It makes me feel less alone. Also, just because I've seen that a lot of people haven't been able to read my first post, I have tried everything, from getting him to see a real psychologist to attempting to have him committed. I've worked with his doctor, my mother-in-law, and my lawyer. However, he hasn't broken the law or physically assaulted me, just threatened to unalive me and our daughter for being WHREs. But to the police, that doesn't seem to matter because we don't matter. So please, all the suggestions about getting him committed or that he might have a tumor, dementia, or schizophrenia, please stop. I have no fight left in me. I also have no legal authority over him. I can't care anymore, or I will drive myself insane. He still has a support network and will never be alone. But that man is dangerous to me and my daughters, and the duty of a parent comes above all else. So again, please stop suggesting what he could have or what I should do regarding him, because that job is no longer mine. After I posted, things started to unravel quickly. About 5 months ago, when my husband's behavior first began escalating, I quietly consulted with a lawyer. At that time, his delusions had started affecting our daily lives, and I knew I needed legal advice. The divorce process requires a period of legal separation before the divorce can be finalized. We initiated this process, and I requested full custody of our 15-year-old daughter, given her increasing fear of her father. The court was also concerned and ordered a psychological evaluation for my husband to assess his mental fitness for parenting. A few weeks into the legal separation, my husband's paranoia worsened. He started placing Apple AirTags in my car and in our 15-year-old daughter's backpack, tracking our every move. My daughter was the one who found the AirTag in her bag, and she was terrified. When I confronted him, he insisted it was for our safety, but it was clear to me that his paranoia was spiraling out of control. This incident deeply affected our daughter, who began refusing to see her father. Around this time, my mother-in-law reached out to me. She was concerned because my husband had accused her of cheating on his father, which was completely out of character for him. My father-in-law didn't believe it for a second but was deeply worried about my husband's state of mind. Her reaching out was a small but much-needed relief. She acknowledged that his behavior was erratic and offered her support, understanding that something was seriously wrong. My older daughter had also become involved in the situation. She had been quietly documenting her father's behavior for months. She recorded 3 different occasions where my husband went on delusional rants. The first was about how I was supposedly cheating on him with one of my coworkers, a man I barely interact with. The second was about how our 15-year-old daughter was secretly dating someone older and lying to him about it. The third was about how the entire family was conspiring against him to make him look crazy. Watching these videos was heartbreaking, but they validated everything I had been dealing with privately. Things escalated further when my husband almost attacked one of my colleagues. He had convinced himself that this man was the affair partner I was supposedly seeing behind his back. It took all my strength to physically separate them before the situation turned violent. As the legal process continued, my lawyer informed me that due to the severity of the situation and the psychological evaluation ordered by the court, my request for full custody was being strongly considered. In Spain, courts typically prioritize the well-being of the child, and given my husband's mental state and the danger he posed, it seemed likely that I would be granted full custody of our 15-year-old daughter. She had made it clear that she didn't want to see her father, and the court was taking her wishes into account. In the midst of this, my 19-year-old daughter decided to take matters into her own hands. She posted the 3 videos she had recorded of her father's breakdowns on Instagram, along with a compilation of texts, photos, and other evidence she had collected over the past few months. Her intention was to show the world what we had been enduring, but it quickly turned into a public spectacle. The backlash was intense. Some people were horrified and reached out with sympathy and support, while others criticized us for airing dirty laundry and accused my daughter of betraying her father. As the divorce process continued, my husband's mental health became a significant factor. The psychological evaluation ordered by the court revealed the extent of his delusions, particularly concerning cheating and female sexuality. It became clear that he was not fit to make decisions regarding our daughter's well-being. The evaluation supported my claim for full custody, and the court is now in the process of finalizing that decision. In the meantime, all communication between my husband and me is being handled through our lawyers, and I'm ensuring that any interaction between him and our 15-year-old daughter is supervised. Given the severity of the situation and the damage done to our lives, I'm making plans to move away with my daughter once the legal proceedings are finalized. My reputation in our current community is shattered, thanks to his delusions and the lies he has spread. Starting fresh somewhere new seems like the only way for us to heal and rebuild our lives. I never wanted it to come to this. I still care deeply for my husband, but I can't keep sacrificing our well-being for the sake of his image. The revelation that he's been lying to his therapist, or rather, his unqualified life coach, was a breaking point for me. I realized I couldn't trust him to get better on his own. Thankfully, some friends have started to see through his stories and are reaching out to support us, which gives me hope. But I know it's going to be a long, difficult road ahead. For anyone else in a similar situation, please know that you're not alone. This has been the hardest decision I've ever made, but sometimes you have to do what's best for your own mental health and safety, no matter how much it hurts. Thank you again for all the advice. I'm hopeful that this is the first step toward a better future, even if it's a painful one. Second update 3 weeks later. Last week, my husband showed up at our home completely out of control. He wasn't supposed to be there, but he came without any warning, and right away, he started yelling. He accused me and our 15-year-old daughter of being against him, claiming we were plotting to destroy him. He was furious. I tried to calm him down, but it only made him angrier. He started throwing things and shouting that we were ruining his life. Then, he turned on our daughter. He called her a WHRE and said she was supposed to be the good one, but she had turned against him too. He moved toward her as if he was going to hit her, and I got between them to protect her. That's when he shoved me so hard I hit the wall, and then he slapped me across the face. I was stunned, but he didn't stop. He grabbed my throat and started strangling me. I fought back, scratching and biting to get him off me. Meanwhile, my daughter, terrified but brave, managed to call the police and stayed on the phone with them, begging for help. When the police arrived, they arrested him immediately. He's now facing charges for domestic violence, and the court has issued a restraining order. I can't even begin to explain how terrifying that moment was, but I'm so grateful my daughter was able to call for help. I don't know what would have happened otherwise. The legal process is moving quickly now, especially after the violence. The court has ordered a psychiatric evaluation to determine if he's fit to be around our daughters, let alone have visitation rights. At this point, I'm expecting full custody of my 15-year-old. She's been through so much, and she doesn't want to see her father anymore, even if it's supervised. I believe the court will honor that, especially given everything that has happened. On top of all of this, the videos my 19-year-old daughter posted online have continued to spread. Many people have reached out with their own stories about things my husband told them, things I didn't even know he had said. It's hard to hear, but it's also helping me understand just how bad it was. Some of the delusions he had included, he thought I was part of a secret group plotting to harm him. He believed our 19-year-old was spying on him for me. He thought our 15-year-old was trying to poison him by putting something in his food. He said his mother was having an affair with her best friend. He told his father that I hired a private investigator to follow him. He believed a family friend was trying to take over his business. He said one of my close friends was in love with me and trying to help me leave him. He told neighbors that I was going to sell our house and leave him with nothing. He believed my boss was helping me hide money in offshore accounts. He thought our daughters were hiding secret phones and communicating behind his back. He accused me of manipulating our children to turn them against him. He said his sister was trying to steal his inheritance. He believed I had hidden cameras in the house to watch him. He accused me of using witchcraft to control his mind. He thought I was planning to flee the country with our daughters. It's been overwhelming to hear how far his paranoia went. Some friends have apologized and now understand what was really happening, but others still believe his stories, and that's been hard. I'm not sure how to fix all the relationships that were damaged by this. I've also been getting a lot of questions about my daughter's therapy and the divorce process, so I'll explain a bit. Initially, we had to put my daughter into telehealth sessions while waiting for an in-person spot with a therapist referred to us by our doctor. It took some time to get that set up and approved, but now she's seeing someone regularly, and it's been helping her a lot. As for the divorce, it could have been simple, but my husband has turned it into a high-conflict situation. I've been so frustrated with how slowly it's been progressing, especially because it didn't need to be this way. However, due to everything he's done, the courts have had to be more cautious, and it's taking longer than expected. I'm only communicating with him through lawyers now. Once everything is finalized, I plan to move with my 15-year-old to start over somewhere else, far away from all of this. That's where things stand now. It's been a horrible, painful experience, but I'm doing my best to keep my daughters safe and ensure we can move forward. Thank you again to everyone who has supported us through this, it truly means a lot.